Admiral Vex Prime clicked his mandibles in what his species considered deep contemplation as he reviewed the battlefield reports. 3 months ago, equipping the primitive humans with obsolete consortium weaponry had seemed like elegant problem-solving. Now, watching the tactical displays, he wondered if his kind had made their first truly catastrophic mistake in 8 centuries. "Sir," his aide, Commander Tevis, approached with visible hesitation. "The Krell Dominion is requesting immediate ceasefire negotiations. The humans they've taken their primary manufacturing world." Vex Prime's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of extreme stress among his people. The humans had been given plasma rifles that were 2 generations behind current technology, shield generators that barely functioned in heavy combat, and kinetic accelerators that most consortium species had abandoned decades ago. It was supposed to be just enough firepower to make them useful cannon fodder against the Krell. Instead, the humans had done something unprecedented. They'd improvised. Lieutenant Colonel Jackson Martinez crouched behind the twisted wreckage of a Krell hover tank, his outdated plasma rifle humming with modifications that would have horrified its original designers. His squad had long since abandoned standard consortium tactics in favor of something that came naturally to their species, creative chaos. "Reynolds, how's that shield array coming?" he whispered into his comm. "Almost got it, sir," came the reply from 50 meters away. "Turns out, if you reverse the polarity and overload the capacitors, these defensive shields make excellent offensive weapons." "Who knew?" Martinez grinned. The consortium had given them defensive equipment because they assumed humans would fight like every other species, with honor, following established protocols, respecting the rules of engagement that had governed galactic warfare for millennia. They hadn't counted on humanity's talent for turning tools into weapons and weapons into tools. Across the battlefield, human squads moved like liquid mercury through Krell formations. They used their outdated kinetic accelerators as improvised rocket launchers, their malfunctioning shield generators as electromagnetic pulse bombs, and their primitive communication arrays as hacking devices that turned Krell drones against their masters. The Krell had expected conventional warfare. Instead, they faced something that defied every military algorithm in their computers: humans fighting like humans. Captain Elena Vasquez pressed herself against the inner wall of a Krell command bunker, her plasma rifle jury-rigged with components salvaged from a dozen different sources. The weapon now fired in patterns that technically shouldn't have been possible, creating cascading energy bursts that overwhelmed Krell shield harmonics. "Their defensive systems are built to counter known threats," she'd explained to her squad earlier. "But we're not fighting with known weapons anymore. We're fighting with human weapons." Back on the consortium flagship, Admiral Vex Prime received another report that made his chitinous shell itch with anxiety. The humans had somehow converted their transport shuttles into kinetic bombardment platforms, turning cargo haulers into makeshift artillery that struck with the force of meteorites. "How?" he demanded of his tactical computer. "How do they keep modifying equipment in ways our engineers say are impossible?" The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Jan Kozlov, the human liaison officer, stepped forward with a grin that Vex Prime was learning to associate with impending chaos. "Because you gave us broken toys and expected us to follow the instruction manual," Kozlov said. "But humans have been making broken things work for our entire history. We don't see defective equipment. We see raw materials." The final blow came when human forces managed something that shattered every assumption about technological warfare. Using their outdated plasma weapons as power sources, their failing shield generators as focusing arrays, and their primitive computers as targeting systems, they created a temporary but devastating orbital bombardment platform from pure scrap. The Krell surrender came 12 hours later. As Vex Prime signed the ceasefire agreements, he studied the human delegation with new respect and considerable fear. They had taken the consortium's cast-off equipment and turned it into something more effective than cutting-edge military hardware. "Admiral," Dr. Kozlov approached with that same dangerous smile. "About those weapon upgrades you promised us." Vex Prime's mandibles clacked nervously. The consortium had planned to give humans proper military equipment once they proved themselves. Now, the thought of what humans might do with actual advanced weaponry kept him awake during his sleep cycles. Perhaps, he said carefully, we should discuss alternative arrangements. Kozlov's grin widened. Already working on alternatives, Admiral. Just finished reverse engineering your quantum torpedoes. Interesting design. Very improvable. In the depths of space, other species intercepted the human communications and learned a valuable lesson. Never give humans your unwanted equipment unless you're prepared for them to make it better than anything you've ever built. Because humans don't just adapt to their tools, they make their tools adapt to them.